NYYST.
Hello, why do they doubt the kid? I'm about to prove them all wrong again. I got a low tolerance, cause they don't even know what the problem is. It's me. You waiting on the boy to fail, then hold your breath and face your death. Cause you play a roulette with each step I progress, no less. Go ahead and place your bets, cause we know where we at, we know we top tier. Cause all the hate that you bring, we know it stops here. I'm taking off like a rocket here and stopping here. It's strange how they cannot see the future, but see profit here. Wait up, we gon' always win. Promise that that's not a promise, yeah, that is a threat. You know that I promise to bring the team commas.
Welcome back. This is episode 469 of the NYYST podcast. We're live here on NYY Underground. I'm your host, Christian, and I'm with my co-host, Sem.
What's up?
Well, I'll tell you what's up. The New York Yankees are riding high into a rematch with the Los Angeles Dodgers tomorrow night in LA after they just swept the Anaheim Angels. We just got to cut all this nonsense out of calling them Los Angeles Angels. They're the Anaheim Angels. They'll always be the Anaheim Angels. You'll never be Los Angeles. So the Yankees took care of business in a big way. Didn't score a ton of runs, but did what they needed to do in Anaheim. Took 3 games. We said last week when we were here live on the U that the Yankees needed to be 5-1 on this West Coast trip going into the Dodger series. They're 5-1 going into this Dodger series. We didn't think it was going to happen this way because they lost inexplicably a game to the Colorado Rockies, but Creed, friggin' dog is eating wrappers off the floor over there.
Maybe you should clean up your wrappers on the floor.
I probably should, but I didn't get around to doing it, okay?
Okay.
The dog also should be smart enough to know not to eat aluminum foil.
Sure.
I taught him better than that.
Yes, you did. Clearly not.
No, well, you know what? Even in my best try there, things can go awry because I'm sure you taught your children not to do certain things and they still do them. And he's
Sure.
like, then
But
you
not
say,
my dog.
oh, but yeah, well, I don't put a shock collar on my dog either. Okay.
And I do?
No, you don't. I just said that out of turn there. We don't want any angry emails, okay? Anyway, well, the Yankees are there's nothing to be angry with this team about right now. Riding high here with a 7-game lead in the American League East. Right now, they're currently 15 games over 500. I mean, who could have ever imagined that the Yankees were going to be in this spot here, 55 games into the season? We were just almost at the at a third of the way through the season here, and you don't want to say that they look like the prohibitive favorites in the American League East, that things are shaping up pretty good for them here. But, I mean, nobody in my mind right now is going to really become a threat unless something major changes in the American League East. That doesn't mean the Yankees should have to sit here and coast the rest of the way. They still have to play good baseball, still play some winning baseball. But, I mean, I didn't really think that we'd be here on May 29th with the Yankees sitting this high up top the American League East, being this good of a baseball team. So a lot of things have come together in the Yankees' favor here to start the season, namely that they've relatively, I mean, since the season has started, been healthy, and their closest competitors in the American League East have not been healthy, and they have not. Nobody's been consistently good. You'll see a team win 4 or 5 games in a row, sit behind the Yankees, then next week they'll have lost 4 or 5 games in a row. Somebody else will have won a couple of games. There'll be a new second place team. But right now the Yankees are in a really good spot here. And I talked about this on Monday when I did my solo show, and anybody that sat through that, I thank you tremendously because I listened back to it and it was just it was an experience. Let's just say I wasn't feeling my best, and but we got it through it. And if you're saying, hey, Hey, what are you talking about? You did a show all by yourself? Yes, I tell you guys this all the time. You have to be subscribed to the NYYST podcast on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any shows throughout the course of the season. And once you're subscribed, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. And tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. And if you're live here in the chat tonight, please like this video and subscribe to NYY Underground as well. I will tease something at the end of the show that will make you want to subscribe if you haven't done so already, because our next show will be audio only, recorded on Monday night after the Dodger series. And I'm going to just say, longtime fans of the Yankees, well, obviously, if you're all here, you're probably longtime fans of the Yankees, but longtime fans of the show are not going to want to miss that show when it drops on Tuesday morning. Okay, so we'll just say that. So, do you have any major complaints before we get into the heart of the show here? Not just about the Yankees. I know that you want to complain about something overall in life too. Your beard looks noticeably shorter too, by the way.
My beard is noticeably shorter. I cut half the length off of it.
Why would you do that?
I did it like a month ago.
Yeah, but no, it looks shorter than it even did a month ago. Did you
It's just
trim? You trimmed
no.
more?
I haven't been blow drying it.
Oh, okay. So, complaints, please get them out of the way because this is going to be a very positive show, except for one person. Not saying either one of us, except for when we discuss one person.
What do you want me to complain about?
I don't know. You have complaints daily, like regularly complaints. And I just want, the chat wants to know too. I want to know
I
what
had
you.
to I had to go to the dentist today.
Oh, yeah? You got drilled?
No.
No?
M-
Okay.
My tooth is in my sinuses, so my sinuses are messed up, so it makes my tooth hurt.
You have low-lying sinuses?
I have something, I don't know.
All right. Riveting radio right here. Okay. So,
I'm
what?
still sick from friggin' 2 weeks ago.
It's the allergies, man. I told you. I had that the other day, all through the weekend. I'm still dealing with some remnants of it. That's why when I told you I didn't want to record on Sunday after the game, I was just beat. I was beat up. I didn't feel like doing it. And then you're like, "Oh, I got to be a good dad. I can't record with you on Monday morning."
I mean, we could have. My son just would have been screaming, yelling like a lunatic.
I wouldn't have been the first time we had a toddler screaming on this show, so it
Oh,
really wouldn't have affected anything.
a bit interesting.
So the Yankees have, like we said, the Yankees are playing really good baseball right now. 35 and 20 is just it's ridiculous in my mind that they are sitting at this spot right now because, and I know a lot of people probably didn't listen to that Monday show because it dropped on Memorial Day, and I know that some of yous there's we've noticed that there's not that big of a crossover for whatever reason. It's like people are set in their ways. If they listen to the show on audio, they listen to the show on audio. If they listen to the show on the U, they listen to the show on the U. It's like it's been many years now. We were hoping for that crossover to connect everybody and just doesn't seem to do it. So that's why a lot of times we'll catch up on things that maybe we spoke about on audio only shows when we do get back on the U here. But as I kind of on Monday did like a look around of the Yankees and where they are, because Memorial Day is really the first mile marker of the season, as you kind of really get to gauge, excuse me, where this team is. Excuse me, and where this team is that they're. Let me get the updated standings up here. Is that this team is they're tied for the best record in the American League. Now you can say, well, Detroit's got percentage points. I look at the loss column. I'm a loss column guy. So when I say tied, games behind, games up, I'm looking strictly at the loss column. Okay, because you can never have less losses. You can always get more wins. That's the way it was taught to me. It's the way it makes sense to me. So that's the way I look at things. Both the Yankees and the Tigers have 20 losses. The next closest is the Seattle Mariners. They have 24 losses. So the Yankees and Tigers are the two top teams in the American League right now. And if you want to look at where the Yankees sit in baseball, the Yankees and the Tigers are tied for that second spot because the Phillies have 19 losses. So we're right there, man. I, in my wildest dreams, never envisioned the New York Yankees on on May 29th would be tied for the best record in the league, a game behind the best record in all of baseball, because I didn't think they had this in them. The Yankees pitching has far exceeded my wildest dreams for them, because everybody listening to the show right now knows I'm a big Garrett Cole guy. And when we lose Garrett Cole for the entire year, it feels like my guts have been ripped out. Not only from a fan perspective, because I love the guy and love watching him pitch, but also an on the field perspective, because how do you survive losing your ace? Well, number one, you sign Max Fried. Well, we signed Fried before that, but you signed Max Fried, and he goes above and beyond anything anybody could have ever hoped for in Max Fried. Okay, so throughout right now, Max Fried's ERA is like, what is it? 1.2? Is that what it is
Yeah,
right now?
I'll look it up for you if
He's
you want.
pitching tomorrow. Actually, it's 1.29. Max Fried, through the first 2 months of the season, has a 1.29 ERA. Even if I
Yeah.
thought Max Fried was going to be good, great, I would say 2.5, 2.7, somewhere in there. That would be like high end, my expectation for Max Fried. 1.29. That's how you cover losing Garrett Cole. But you're saying, okay, well, that's how we covered Garrett Cole. How did we cover Max Fried? Carlos fucking Rodon. And that F in the middle used to mean something different. Now it means you are the man. Okay. Nobody has come on here and used more airtime destroying Carlos Rodon than I have. Maybe other people will, but for the sake of being hyperbolic here, I'll say it was me. Okay. This guy has gone out here and dropped his nuts all over every mound he's been pitching on for the better part of this season. He had a little bit of a rough stretch there, especially centered around that San Francisco game. But ever since then, my God, this guy's season ERA is down to 2.60. 2.60 on excuse, the other night in Anaheim, 7 scoreless innings, 10 Ks Tuesday night, right? What more, honestly, what more could we have wanted from Carlos Rodon than we've gotten out of him? Been begging this guy since he signed here to be Robin, to be the co-ace. And maybe it took losing Garrett Cole for an entire year to click in. But this guy has done every single thing that every Yankee fan has been begging of him for the better part of 2 years. And I'm with it, man. I am all down on the Rodon resurgence. Okay. I am now expecting Carlos Rodon to go out there every single time he is on the mound and deliver me a winning performance. I am on the choo choo. I'm conducting the train right now of the Carlos Rodon resurgence. Okay, because I know there's people out there like Pete. Pete's been on the train. He's never hopped off the train. Okay, I wanted that train to run me over because that's how it felt every time I watched Carlos Rodon pitch. But now I am conducting the Rodon resurgence train. Choo choo, let's go, man. This guy has been absolutely disgusting, and disgusting in a good way, since pretty much the middle of April here. There is nothing that a Yankee fan can ask of more from Carlos Rodon than what he's given us here. 2.60 on the season. And he just looks like a different guy. He looks like a guy that has confidence. You know, Razor Ramon oozed machismo. Well, Carlos Rodon is oozing machismo when he takes the mound every single start now. That is a different guy than we've had in the Bronx in the last 2 years. And we all know that the Yankees changed their beard policy for Devin Williams, but I'm doing what do they call it? A retcon when they changed canon? The Yankees changed his beard policy for Carlos Rodon. They looked at it and they said, how do we get this guy going? Beards.
I don't. It's a weird week because obviously we're dealing with the West Coast games and they're late, and just trying to watch everything on replays and whatnot. It kind of sucks because you see the stat lines and everything that what the game Rodon pitched, and it's a game I missed. This week I'm still dealing with trying to feel better. So like I kind of went to bed pretty early during a lot of these games, And I never at the beginning of the season, I didn't think I'd be actually upset that I did missed out on a Carlos Rodon game. Typically I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, we're probably gonna lose, or it's gonna be a nail biter." But he's putting such solid games together. Like you said, 7 innings pitched, 10 strikeouts. I think how many batters he faced? Like 26 batters or something like that. And he's just kicking ass. It's cool to watch. It's awesome. It's comforting almost, when the beginning of the season came, you pretty much had him down and out. Then when he's, almost gave up opening day, or it was a right. It's like, and then to see him turn it around the way he has, it's like so promising, because this is the Rodon that we've been waiting for. He's here. It's now. Is he going to keep continuing to do it? It seems like he is. And like we said, he's earned a bad game. So like even if he goes out there and he just shits all over himself, it is what it is. The guy's earned a bad game. Him and Max Fried both, and they're just putting together such good outings that it's enjoyment. Like I haven't had those games like, listen, losing to the Rockies the other day, I was pretty pissed off, and but like I haven't had like a game where I'm like overly like frustrated outside of Devin Williams shitting the bed, and Rodon is just it's a pleasant surprise. I'm glad it's happening, like when we all saw Garrett Cole go down, I think we all were just doom and gloom, and now here we are, and it's just you wish Garrett Cole was here, because like imagine what our record would be if Garrett Cole was here, but hey, I'm here for it. This is exciting baseball.
I'm here for Crackle Nuts back in the chat with the Chuck Norris jokes. Okay, I'm here for that, but I don't Febreze after I do a number one. Okay, I know you might think that I do, but that's just that's kind of saying something's wrong with me, that I got to cover up that smell. I'm a healthy guy. Okay,
Asparagus.
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 So yeah, man. Like I said, I I'm getting to a point now where it's not even in my brain to think that Carlos Rodon is going to puke all over himself on the mound. In my brain, I'm sitting there saying to myself, this guy's going to go out there and shove. He's going to go out there and dominate. He's going to go out there and drag those big Rodon balls all over the mound and show everybody who the hell this guy is, man. And you know what? Maybe it takes a couple of years to settle in. Remember, you know, we all have kids, bro. We know what that does to people. His wife was pregnant going into that season, and not making an excuse, but he came in a little, probably a little overweight, sympathy weight, pregnancy weight is a real thing, the bad back, getting adjusted to being a Yankee, shit happens, that with the way that first season went for Carlos Rodon. I could have never predicted that I'd be sitting here on this show 2 years later singing his praises. And Michael Kay said this the other night, too, during the game. He goes, all the credit in the world goes to Carlos Rodon, because the way this was shaping up was for him to be a big money disaster. Okay? That's how this was shaping up. Year one, injured, ineffective, blowing kisses, the whole thing with Matt Blake crying in the dugout, all that, and even yet last year, his ERA was barely under 4, but he was so uneven. And now this year, this guy's a top 10 pitcher in the sport. Argue with a wall if you disagree with me. Nobody thought this. And he put in the work. He, at his stage of his career, with the contract that he has, he said, fastballs, he could say to himself, excuse me, fastball, slider. If I don't get him out, whatever. Guy developed a changeup. He developed a curveball. He's a different guy. This is a different pitcher than the Yankees signed after 2022. Oh, telling you right now, man. All the respect in the world to Carlos Rodon for reinventing himself, because he could have just rested on what got him that contract. But he didn't, man. He aimed to improve. I have all the time in the world for guys that aren't happy with their position. Meaning that, dude, he sucked in 2023. and he was not very good, in my opinion, in 2024 because it was just such a Jekyll and Hyde season for him, where you just didn't know, depending on which way the wind was blowing, what Carlos Rodon you were going to get that day. And he went out there and he improved his game, he improved his arsenal, and he recognized, you know what? If I'm not going to do it this year, when we don't have Garrett Cole, when am I ever going to do this? And a lot of quotes came out today because the Yankees received their AL championship rings ahead of this series with the Dodgers here. And Rodon was given his, and he grumbled under his breath, first losers, when he got his ring. That's the mentality that he has right now because he wants to be a champion. Giancarlo Stanton wants to be a champion. Apparently, he told the entire team, I better not catch any of yous wearing that ring because that's not the one we want. Get this guy back on the field here. Get Giancarlo Stanton back in my lineup. Big G, my playoff god. Even Anthony Volpe. Anthony Volpe, again, it's like he went 3 for 10 in Anaheim, and people are like, oh, he had a good series. Okay, he won 3 for 10. It's 300 average. I get it, but we need to see sustained good play from Anthony Volpe. But even Anthony Volpe, in that article from Brian Hoke, he wanted to throw the friggin' ring in the garbage. They told him he couldn't, so he gave it to his dad. It appears that from the way that was all presented, that these guys have a bad taste in their mouth from what happened last year. And they should, because even Joel Sherman on his podcast, and I've said this a dozen times, I had a lot of Dodger fans in my comments during the World Series. I don't know, my post-game videos wound up on Dodger Talk instead of Yankee Talk. So a lot of my followers ended up becoming Dodger fans. But, there were some good ones that want to, have conversations with you. And it's easier for the opposing team to be, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. Be nicer to you. I was going to use an SAT word, but I forgot it. To be nicer to you when your team is winning. I get that. But, the one thing that they were all mad about is like, we beat you. And I would say, listen, guys, like, yeah, you won. I'm not taking that away from you. You're the champs. But the Yankees handed you that series. Let's be fair about it, right? You don't give back the rings, but the Yankees actively aided you in winning that series. You didn't really beat the Yankees in the traditional sense of that. You went out there and proved you were the better team. You were the better team in the sense that the Yankees made a lot of mistakes and you capitalized on them. If the Yankees don't make those mistakes, how does that World Series look? I don't know. We'll never know. But that brings us to now this weekend. The Dodgers, Los Angeles, Hollywood, the rematch of the World Series. What does this series mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. It's the first real litmus test for the Yankees in 2025. Okay? How good are the 2025 New York Yankees? And we're going to find out this weekend. If the Yankees get swept, does that mean that now they're not making the postseason or anything like that? No, but it's a statement series for the Yankees. Just like I thought last year on opening weekend was a statement series for the Yankees against the Houston Astros. The Yankees swept that series, and it let everybody know that this team was a different Yankee team than in years past. And, yeah, they got to the World Series, so it had been a different Yankee team in years past because they hadn't been there in 15 years. Just like this weekend, if the Yankees go out there and play this brand of baseball that they've been playing over the last 25 games or whatever it is, because they think they've won 7 consecutive series now, if they go out there and play that brand of baseball and go toe-to-toe with the Dodgers, and if the Dodgers beat them, and these are all competitive, well-played games, but they go out there and they play a clean 27 innings, then we know that this is a good Yankee team. Because the Yankees have to be feeling pressure right now to know that the world is watching them and how they're going to respond to being back in LA after the World Series. If the Yankees go out there and they start kicking the ball around and making a lot of dumb errors that we haven't really seen out of this team, excuse me, in this season, then a lot of questions are going to start to creep up about how good this team really is. Because so far they feasted off of a weak American League and some mediocre National League teams that they've played. Although they've had some good series wins, like against the Padres, but this is the litmus test, right? This is the measuring stick. These are the world champions. These are the teams that this is the team that embarrassed you in 2024 in the World Series. And these teams are almost the same. Obviously, the Yankees have a departure and they've added some new pieces, but the Dodgers are relatively still there. That's still relatively the team that beat the Yankees in the World Series. So it's going to be interesting to see this series from a Yankee fan perspective to say, hey, how good are we really? Are we a team that, if we get back here in October, that we can beat this team this time? Have we cleaned up enough of of our mistakes here? So that's what I'm going to be looking for more so than results. Obviously, you want the Yankees to go out there and take 2 out of 3, continue to play winning baseball, and win another series. But what I'm really truly looking for out of the Yankees in this series is how clean they play these games.
Well, first off, I'd like to say that Friday's game is bullshit because why would that game be played at 10:10 p.m.? I don't know about you, but I'm pretty aggravated about it. I'm probably only going to catch maybe the first
Because it's
inning of that game.
California.
I
You
get that, but
understand?
like why like so you don't have to play at 7 o'clock their time. Play it at 6 o'clock their time so I can at least watch a quarter of the game. California. But no, I mean like you're hitting the nail on the head, I think, and I don't really have anything to disagree with that, I would just be it's, the way that they all seem to be dealing with it, not wanting to wear the ring or first losers, whatever it is, it's what you want to see in your team, so that's good to see. And realistically, this series, it's probably the one that I've been looking forward to the most all season because obviously it's like the rematch, this is I was gonna make a Rocky reference, but I didn't want to sound like you. So, but this this is like a defining series. If they could go in there when what's this, a 3-game series, not a 4-game series, right?
No, it's 3.
It's 3. If they could go in there and win two out of the 3, I mean, dude, I'm gonna be smiling from ear to ear. It's going back, it's getting back at them. It's showing that, we're not the same Yankees that we were last year. We mean business, and watch out for us come postseason. Because if it's another Dodgers Yankees World Series, I mean, like this is the predecessor to that. This is the big moment. This is what we need to see. Aaron Judge can't run through any walls. They better have fixed that friggin' that fence, and they need to play good defense because ultimately, we're never going to live down that fifth inning. That is always going to be in our minds. If they could put together a solid game, even if they lose and it's competitive and they lose by a run, to me it's still a win-win because like we've been saying, the Dodgers assembled the Avengers. I mean, some of the Avengers are on the IL currently, which is just like look at this, but you know, if they could just keep it together, competitive games, it it sets. I'm trying to think like it's like foreshadowing the future. Can we beat them in the World Series? Because that's what we all talked about. Do the Yankees go out and get that big name? Do the Yankees go out there and acquire at the trade deadline? Can they actually beat the Dodgers? Well, this is going to tell us yes they can, no they can't. So this is a very important series. It's probably the most important out of them all because when you think about it, Dodgers, the way we put it, was the benchmark. If you can't beat them, then you might you obviously don't punt the season, but you maybe don't go all in all the way. This is very very big, and I mean you're gonna have to text me the entire time, tell me what's going because I won't be around to watch it, but I'm excited.
I don't know. Like I said, if the Yankees go out there and get beat 2 out of 3 or worse, I don't know if it means that we just say the season's over, but like I said, I want to see the Yankees go out there and compete and play a clean 27 innings against the Dodgers. Okay. That's what I need to see out of this team. Kind of exercise those demons of the fifth inning. And yeah, if the Yankees sweep and they, let's say, they do that and they by a combined 32-4 score, it doesn't change what happened last year. We don't, the Dodgers don't, it's not like winning the WWE title. It's not like handed it back. I was like, oh, you're the champions now. Like, here's your title. They're still the champs. We still were embarrassed last year. But what it does is it sets the tone for the rest of this season that this is a different Yankee team, that these Yankees are not happy with what happened last year. And I know that there's a core of Yankees here that weren't here now that weren't here last year, like Fried, like Belly, like Goldschmidt, that are big parts of what the Yankees are doing this year. But you still have Giancarlo Stanton and Judge and Rodon and Volpe and Jazz and a whole bunch of, and you got a whole slew of guys there like Luke Weaver that's still sitting in the back of their minds of like, hey, that's not that's not who we are. That World Series did not accurately show who we are, and now it's time to show everybody who we are. So that's what I'm looking for out of this series here. That the Yankees go out there and they go toe to toe. And if you know what, and if they go toe to toe and they're just not good enough, you know what, I live with that in the sense that I didn't think the Yankees were better than the Dodgers coming into the season anyway. But if you go toe to toe and you give them your best punch and they still beat you, I can live with that as a fan. What I can't live with is the Yankees handing now that they're stepping up in class here, because somebody in the chat said Texas and the Mariners and the Mets, yeah, those are good teams that the Yankees beat. They're not the Dodgers, okay? And the Dodgers might get bored with the regular season. They're not going to get bored with being on national TV 3 days in a row. Well, Apple on Friday and then Fox and then ESPN. They're not going to get bored with all the attention that's going to bring them with the Yankees being in town. They're not going to get bored with that. So even if the Dodgers sometimes see like they're going through like the motions of the season, that's not what it's going to be this weekend. So you're going to get the best version of the Dodgers. And the Yankees are in a great spot here come Friday, because guess who's on the mound for the Yankees Friday night? Max Fried. Max Fried has a chance to do something that is going to endear himself to even more Yankee fans and more deeply endear himself to the Yankee fans. And that's go out there and shove that baseball down the Dodgers' throat on Friday night. If he can go out there and deliver a 7-8 inning gem against the Dodgers and the Yankees win 5-2, I'm going to Yankee Stadium on Saturday and I'm putting in the monument already. Okay. I'm doing it. Because that's what Max Fried is. Max Fried is looks like a guy on him. This is a guy with a ring already, but he just looks like he is on a mission this year with the Yankees.
No, Max. I mean, we praise Max Fried day in and day out because every time he goes out there, even though he's not the sharpest, he's still a dominant pitcher. He's going out there, he's getting the outs, you know, he's not getting smacked around. He really is. He's been a godsend for us. When we signed him, great, but no one thought he was going to be what he is today. You know, and like you said, like the Dodgers are going to be playing their A game. They're not going to come in all lackadaisical and saying, hey, if they beat us, they beat us. No, the Dodgers are going to be playing. Both these teams are going to be playing because to prove a point. You know, Dodgers beat them. They're going to want to beat them again. To show them like it wasn't a fluke. And the Yankees want to beat them back to say, oh, no, it was a fluke. They just got lucky. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be an exciting series. But Max Fried being on the mound for game one makes me very confident that we could take that.
So let me
I
get to
think
Rod's
that he.
super chat here before I miss it, unless you want to finish your point.
No, go.
Says Volpe is such a weird anomaly, isn't he? Leads the AL shortstops and RBIs. I believe he's in the top 10 overall in the American
He
League in
is.
runs batted in.
He
But he's
is, I
so
believe.
streaky. But if he can control the strike zone and swing at a strike, he'll be fine. I mean, that's what people that defend Volpe look at. They say, well, look at this stat. But my eyes just show me a very inconsistent hitter. And I get it. Like if you're in the Hall of Fame, you made out 70% of the time. But it's beyond that with me. It's a guy that to me still this is year 3 and I don't feel that Anthony Volpe has mastered the strike zone yet. When he does that, he will be the consistent hitter that we all want him to be.
Because the problem with Volpe too is that when he gets his hits or whatever he's doing, a lot of times like he'll get up and it'll be bases loaded and it's strikeout. It's like when it's in big
Only had a
situations. I
sac
mean,
fly yesterday. It was the only run in the game. So
yes. So, but like, a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while is the way I'm looking at it. I'm not trying to get down on him. People are
no, but
saying, oh,
you
he's been
are. You're
playing.
hating on him
I,
right
I
now.
really, I'm over
This
him. I
this
really
is
am
straight
over
hate
him.
right now.
But because listen, he's streaky. He's on a run
Oh,
right
he's
now.
very streaky.
But
Absolutely. I'd be the
like
first to
he's
admit
not
that.
supposed to be that way. Like I shouldn't be talking about Anthony Volpe performing good this month, but he performed like shit for the past two. It should be the opposite way around. I'm okay with Anthony Volpe slumping. Everybody's gonna go into a slump. It just seems like Anthony Volpe's always slumping, then he heats up, and then he slumps again. And he's colder for longer than he is hot. And that's the
Yeah,
problem
his
with
his
Anthony
slumps,
Volpe.
his valleys are very deep and very long. So
You
yes,
can't get up there. You can't be an elite batter. You can't be a major league batter and be up there, bases loaded with 0 outs and not drive in a run. It's like, listen, I get it. It
but you're
happens.
literally making
It's
that point
multiple
the day after
times.
that he did that.
A blind squirrel finds the nut. I mean, like I said to my wife, I said, I'm glad I watched the whole game last night because I went to sleep right after Volpe did that. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, I just ripped him last time I was on the podcast.
And you
And I
know
said,
that he
here he
hit a
is.
3-run double on Monday, right? So
Yes, I
this is
did.
yes,
Yes.
okay. So
But now
so
is
now
it
he
going
has
to be
two nuts.
consistent? Is
He
it
has
going to
two,
be consistent, or is this going to be like
well,
he's
that's
going
the
to do this
question
another
with
week?
Anthony Volpe. This is what we always talk about with him. How the peaks don't last very long, and then the valleys seem to get deeper and deeper every time he gets in them. But I will be fair to Anthony Volpe that you don't want to make a big deal out of a 246 batting average. But it does seem that I don't think his hot streaks have been as hot this year, but his slumps also haven't been as long this year. So maybe he's starting to even out a little bit. I mean, his OPS is 766, 767. The guy's never cracked 700 as a major leaguer. That means something to me that we're about to end June and he's a couple good games away from having an 800 OPS. That does mean something to me. I'm not going to change a lot of what I said about Anthony Volpe, that he still has a lot of work to do to show us that he can be the Yankee shortstop for the next decade. But if we're gonna be fair, and that's the one thing I say all the time, I don't want you to I don't want anybody on this show to be disingenuous, right? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. But I'll always come on here and be honest. And I do feel that this is, I don't want to say it's a different Anthony Volpe, but he's not the same hitter he's been the last couple of years, because even like I said, I don't feel he's ever had that scorching hot streak like we've seen him have over the past couple of seasons, but he hasn't just dropped off the face of the earth. He seemed to get the nose up a little bit quicker than he has in years past. So maybe that's a change. Maybe that's something that's changing. And then when we take another look here at the next mile marker, July 4th, maybe he's hitting 260. Maybe that OPS is like 790 now. These are the things we're asking out of him. And that's still a really low bar to set for a guy that the Yankees told you was their franchise shortstop in year 3. But we got to go somewhere with him. Can't go. We can't go any back. We can't go any more backwards because the next step back for him is Scranton, Pennsylvania. Okay.
Well, when he hits a base clearing double or he hits the sac fly the other day, nobody was like, "Oh, I knew he could do it." I mean, sure there's people, but like I wasn't like, "Oh, I knew he could do it." I was surprised. I'm is basically I'm just not an Anthony Volpe believer anymore. He's not just gonna get that out of me. He needs to earn it now, because it's like put up or shut up. It's show me at this point. It's not. I'm not eating up the Yankees bullshit story anymore. I think he's got a long way to go, and it's just, sure. Listen, he's a Major League Baseball player. He's good at baseball. You don't make it to the major leagues if you're bad at baseball. But I don't want average. I wasn't sold on average. I was sold on he was going to be an elite shortstop, amazing bat, yada yada yada, base stealing guru. I'll always go back and say, you know, uh, and I feel like you get that a lot less at the times than I feel like it's a shitty timeshare that was sold to me.
Right. I love you, brother. You know that, but the super chats about Anthony Volpe, you got to chill, man, because you trigger and Sem every time that we talk about Anthony Volpe. Okay. I purposely try to leave Anthony Volpe off my show sheet to not trigger him. And then you leave us a super chat, which we thank you for. And you know I love you, bro. But now he's triggered and he's just going to be
Triggered.
triggered for the rest of the evening.
I am. Don't bring up DJ LeMahieu. It might trigger me more.
Well, there's really not
Oh,
much to say
great.
about DJ
No.
LeMahieu, but I gotta comment on a couple of these crackle nuts jokes here. Okay, number one, okay, my Italian grandmother will resurrect herself from the dead and stab me in the neck with those scissors if I ever cut spaghetti with a pair of scissors. Okay, Jason can
He eats it with a
attest.
fork and a knife.
No, nobody who eats spaghetti with a knife.
People do it.
I cut spaghetti
People
for my
do it.
5-year-old, but I'm a
No,
grown
I've seen
adult.
people do. They twirl it and then they like it's like sacrilegious. You can't do
Uh,
that.
I do not prefer Tic Tacs over gum. I'm a huge gum guy. Okay, I can go through one of those icebreaker cups in
Do
two
you know how many
days.
microplastics they say you got into your body by chewing gum?
Literally don't care. Next, I do avoid my neighbors. This is a true story. If I see my neighbors, I can see my neighbors when I'm standing on my deck. And if they're outside when I'm going to take the dog for a walk, I go the other way because I do not want to do a stop and chat, especially when I'm walking the dog, because I'm walking the dog not for leisure. I do it for exercise for the both of us, and I'm trying to keep a pace going. And I don't want to talk to these people. Also, I don't have anything that I really want to talk to them about because they're uninteresting. Oh, how's your daughter? Don't know the name of your daughter, so stop asking about mine. Okay. Thank you. Next. There was one more that I
Oh.
wanted to get to. Where was it? I love when Crackle Nuts is in the chat because these are always fun. There was one more. What happened to it? Oh, if it comes back, it comes back. Anyway. So that's where I'm at this weekend with the Yankees. I just want to see a clean brand of baseball here from this ball club. And, just keep, play good. If they play good baseball, I think they will beat the Dodgers 2 out of 3 here. I really do think that'll happen. And we do got to talk about Aaron Judge because I said we're not going to ignore him anymore on the show. Uh, he's down to 391 here. So
Oh no.
look, I didn't think he was going to hit 400, but it's becoming. But here's the crazy thing, bro. You think this guy's in a fucking slump because he's down to 391? He's hit 304 in his last 7 games.
I'd trade him.
I mean, this is what we're living with this guy. Oh, he's in a slump. He's down to 391. What baseball player on this earth wouldn't sell their mother to be hitting 304 in a slump?
He's not human. He's not human. Everybody wants to talk about Aaron Judge. Major League Baseball itself should
Oh
get
no,
on their
Aaron Judge
knees.
strikes out a lot. He's always going to strike out. I mean, who cares? We just said the guy's hitting 304 in a slump. We're going to nitpick something that's wrong with him.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
strikes out a
yeah. I
lot.
mean,
Yeah.
he strikes out. He's a big guy. But he's cut down on that a lot drastically. I think. So what? Maybe it's picked up a little bit here over this last week. And that's why he's only hitting 304. I don't get it. And that's another thing. I was watching something today on TikTok. A video came up. It's like Aaron Judge going back to a place that robbed him of his. Did y'all? I understand as Yankee fans, we try to erase the memories of that World Series, but Aaron Judge has been back to LA since he ran into the friggin' wall.
Yeah.
So that's not even a story.
I don't know. It's just it's just a talking point.
But
I don't
here,
know.
you didn't want to talk about DJ LeMayu. We have to talk about DJ LeMayu because it seems like he might be sticking around a lot longer than we had thought. Because Jazz Chisholm is started his rehab assignment tonight in Somerset for the Patriots. He had a single on a highlight that I saw, and he scored on a Spencer Jones double. So he looks like he's moving around pretty good. But it's not the interesting part is not that he started his rehab, which we all kind of expected was going to happen. It's that he's playing third base. Jess Chisholm played second base before he got injured. Why all of a sudden now is Jazz Chisholm playing third base? Well, Aaron Boone said they just want to have him keep his versatility.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. Exactly.
Bullshit. Bullshit. DJ LeMayu is going to be the everyday second baseman. Jazz Chisholm's going to be the third baseman. And we're going to be getting a whole lot of DJ LeMahieu for the rest of the year. Who,
So
outside of what? Well, he hit 2 home runs? How many home runs did he hit?
LeMayu,
Yeah.
he might have
Yeah,
two.
that one big home run when he
One,
first came back. I think he
he
might
has
have hit one
he had
more.
one against the Mets.
So like outside of that, the guy's batting what, 184, 184. I mean, I get it. It's a small sample size, and the more at bats he's going to get, the less that number is going to move up and down. He could get a couple hits and go right back up right now, but he's not DJ of past. I mean,
No,
defensively, I don't.
he's ass. He's completely
Yeah,
ass.
I,
We had that founding youth game against the Mets that Saturday. We talked about it and we said, hey, maybe. And no, he's just been complete ass. I don't think he's hit a ball hard since then.
well, that's what I was saying, and then I was like, this guy's a freaking ground out machine again because I used to call him DJ La Ground Out last year all the time, and then he hit one, into the outfield. It got caught, but he just seems like he has a lot of trouble elevating the ball all the time. It's just he's an old man. It's not there anymore. Move on. I don't understand this. It's like it's gonna be like a weekend at Bernie's thing where they're just trying to prop him up and it's stupid.
Well, here's the thing, right? Because Brian Cashman was on MLB radio over the weekend and he was asked, like, what are your plans? Basically, I'm paraphrasing. It was like, what are your plans for the trade deadline? And he said, pitching, 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 right? So I agree with that. I agree the Yankees need to be looking at pitching because I really like this starting rotation right now because obviously we talked enough about Max Fried and Carlos Rodon. Uh, Will Warren, Garrett Cole's got in between his ears and he's turned him into a completely different pitcher. Clark Schmidt had a really good outing last night. Ryan Yarbrough, I mean, what else can
Yeah.
you say about friggin' Ryan Yarbrough? And I talked about this on my Monday show. How much more confident do you feel about the New York Yankees since Marcus Stroman and Cookie Carrasco stopped taking starts for them and they was replaced by Ryan Yarbrough? How much more confident and better has this team become since then?
Oh, it's like night and day. Marcus Stroman sucks. Cookie Carrasco was an old man that couldn't. It's
Look,
Will
and
Warren stepping up in a big way though.
the Yankees have four guys currently on the IL. They have that are coming back in relatively short order here. In short order, a month or so, whatever. Jazz, Fernando Cruz, Giancarlo Stanton, and Marcus Stroman. Right, those are the four guys. Three of these guys the Yankees need to be successful this year. They need G back in the lineup. Uh, they need Fernando Cruz back in that bullpen, and obviously they need to get Jazz's bat back in there in some way, shape, or form, whether second or third. And we're going to talk about why I think they're doing that in 1 second. Marcus Stroman provides zero positive value to New York Yankees. There's no way Marcus Stroman throwing a pitch for the Yankees is a good thing for the entire remainder of this season. It's just not. You can't convince me that Marcus Stroman pitching for the Yankees this year is a good thing, that it's going to make the team better, that it's going to get them closer to winning the World Series. It's just, I don't see it.
I'd rather have Cookie Carrasco over Marcus Stroman, just
I'd
because
rather
Marcus
I'd rather have a
Stroman's an
fucking
asshole.
crumble cookie pitch for the Yankees than Marcus Stroman.
He's. I'll go on for 5 hours about Marcus Stroman. He needs to be nowhere near a mound. I get aggravated when I see him sitting in the dugout. Like, okay, great, you're traveling with the team, but go to hell away. I don't need you there. He's such a cancer. He's problematic every which way you can possibly imagine it, and he's just not a good pitcher. Not that he ever was a great pitcher, but he was able to get outs. Now he's a not great pitcher that can't even get you the outs. So him and DJ LeMahieu need to get on low robo and just go down the Hudson River, and just we'll see you at the end of the season. Bye bye.
Yeah, I'm going to borrow Frank's comment and I'm going to expound upon it here. I'd rather have Crackle Nuts doing a Cookie Monster impression, shoving chocolate chip cookies in his mouth while he's pitch instead of Marcus Stroman.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So back to Jazz here. Why I think the Yankees are, because we said pitching, right? That's what he said. And I think that it makes a lot of sense. I don't think the Yankees are going to be playing in the deep end of the pool for either relieving or starting pitching, but I think they need both for depth. Right? I do think they could use another arm out there in the bullpen, maybe a lefty. I would scour the major leagues for a guy that throws 100, even if he's got a 5 ERA. I mentioned this on the show on Monday. The guy Howardson or whatever his name is in Colorado has a 5 ERA. His average velocity is 100. Let me get him, okay? Let me figure out what's wrong with him. The Yankees need a guy that can just throw pure cheese out there because they don't have one of them. So I'll take a project, figure out what's wrong with him. I'll send him to Matt Blake U and work on him here. But I would love to see a guy like that come to the Yankees. And then obviously, you got to protect the Yankees have to protect themselves against injury because there's no depth in this starting rotation whatsoever. In possible innings limits, because I'm sure Will Warren's going to hit something. We got to remember Clark Schmidt, missed half the season last year. So is he going to hit kind of a wall in innings limit there? Luis Heel, is Cinderella's shoe going to fall off in terms of Ryan Yarbrough? Although the Yankees do think they unlocked something with him because they changed the grip on his changeup, and you can see how great he's been here. So, but they do need starting pitching for depth. Now, obviously, if something big becomes available, I don't know what that could be. Yeah, you go for it if it makes sense for you. But yeah, I do think those are two areas of need for the Yankees for depth purposes. But Brian Cashman also said that they need a right-handed bat, preferably to play third base. Now, Talking Cucks brought this up on their show the other day. I did see a clip come up on my feed, and there's not many big, attractive names out there, because if the Yankees want to go, and they brought this up, so I'll credit them for this, that they want to go the Jazz route where you get a guy with a couple of years of control. The pool's not very deep there at third base. So maybe the Yankees are seeing that and have had some preliminary talks already and say maybe we don't have an option at third base. We'll just stick Jazz back over there and we'll ride DJ LeMahieu into the friggin' ground here.
Yay. That's what they're going to do. It's the Yankee thing to do. This is DJ's last year, I think is right.
No, he's got another year.
He's got another year? Thank you for ruining my night. The fuck? Listen, that's what they're gonna do. It's the Yankee. He has no trade value. Are they gonna just DFA him and eat the money on it? I doubt it. I mean, if they were gonna, they should have done that last season. It's just you think that's what they're gonna do. That's what I think they're gonna do. I think it's what everybody thinks that they're gonna do.
It's just very curious to me that Cashman says that they're trying to look for a right-handed bat at third base, and now all of a sudden Jazz is on his rehab, is playing third base. Like, why are we doing that? You made it a point to put this guy back at second base in the offseason, and now he's rehabbing as a third baseman.
Yeah,
because you want to keep his versatility. It doesn't, I mean, the pieces aren't adding up to me there. It just seems to me like they don't think that they can acquire a third baseman and they'd rather put Jazz at third base because they feel more comfortable with DJ LeMayu at second than they do the combination of Vivas or Peraza at third base going forward.
which I don't understand that. You know,
DJ's, yeah, LeMayu's a free agent after next season.
if the bats aren't there, the bats aren't there. The bats not there with DJ, you know. So and defensively, I don't think DJ LeMahieu is going to be able to outperform Peraza or Vivas. You know, maybe they might get a couple more errors out of them because they're not as seasoned as he is, but they're going to be able to make the plays that he's not able to do because he's a big, tall, old dude. It's just I don't understand. I know that there's money tied to it. I get that, but it's like a weird sick obsession that they need to keep marching him out there. You know, it's just it's truly infuriating. Not that I even thought that. I mean, none of us ever thought that DJ should even be given the chance to come back this season. You know, obviously it happened, but you know now that they're just gonna, it just seems like they're gonna ride it out. Is just even more mind-numbingly stupid, and that's going to be the frustrating thing to watch all season.
That's, I mean, I could be wrong. And if Jazz comes back and he's at second base, and, I'll come on and say, hey, you know what? But I'm reading the tea leaves here. Okay. I'm usually in tune with these things that the Yankees are up to. They don't do things by accident.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, I don't know. And he's just pitching, pitching, pitching. Everybody and their mothers now is screaming Paul Skeens, which I think is
I'm gonna put an end to this right now. Okay, Paul Skeens is still 2 years away from hitting arbitration, which means that for the next 2 years, this guy probably, unless raises have changed, will not even be making $1 million from his baseball contract. Okay, even the Pittsburgh Pirates aren't that cheap. So you take that into consideration. The fact that he's not making any money for another 2 years, he's still pre-arb. Okay, 2 years. And the fact that there is no quantifiable value on his talent, there's no way that you could that the Pittsburgh can trade him. You just can't
no.
do it.
It would take the farm and then some.
And if Pittsburgh did trade him, they should. Who I is it Charrington's the owner there, or the G? I don't know. I get them confused. Whoever it is has to sell. It should be forced to sell the team. It's like Manfred gets the call. We're trading Skeens, and he says, "Listen, I'll approve the trade, but you're selling the team 10 seconds after." Because
Yeah,
that is ridiculous that a generational talent like Paul Skeens would be traded pre-arb. Come on.
especially after they offered all that money for his baseball card. I think they're all in on him as I think that he's probably one of the people that bring people into that stadium. But I think his win loss isn't even that great. It's like another Jacob DeGrom situation where his team's just screwing him over. You're getting great pitching, and the team's shitting the bed on you.
Well, I forget one of his starts. I was watching a game. He gave up 1 run over 7 innings and he lost.
Yeah, it's disgusting. That team sucks.
I mean, I would love Paul Skeens to be a New York Yankee. I mean,
Oh,
duh. But excuse me, but it's bad for baseball. It's if he gets traded pre-arb. That's what people are not. He's pre-arbitration right now for 2 more years. They don't have to pay him.
I think they asked was it the GM or the owner? I think somebody asked him if they'd be trading him to the Yankees or something like that. I think it was an actual question asked, and they're
No,
like,
it
no,
was the GM, and he said the GM was asked if they're thinking about trading him, and he said
trading him,
no.
just trading him. Yeah, and he's like, yeah, no. What?
Somebody that got traded, and I wish almost now I wouldn't, even though it means we'd still have Nestor Cortez, and he's hurt. Okay, so is Devin Williams. So we got to talk about this, and we'll close the show out here. We saved the worst for last. It's usually, I know the expression is the best for last. We'll save the worst for last. Um, there's a lot of layers to what happened Tuesday night in Anaheim, and I made a video about it on TikTok, and I know not everybody's on TikTok or follows me there, but I thought I did I wanted to put this video out before the show to explain it, and now I want to explain it again on the show for people that might have missed it. Okay. There's a lot of layers to this. The first layer is we're 110% done with Devin Williams ever closing another game for the New York Yankees. Done. I don't care if you don't have anybody in the bullpen. Grab the ball boy. He can close the game. We are done with Devin Williams closing baseball games for the New York Yankees. This was your final opportunity. This is the final chance to show the Yankees that you can do this. And you blew it. You blew big chunks is what you did. Whatever the stomach virus that Carlos Rodon had that caused him to projectile vomit all over the mound has now infected Devin Williams. Because my man Carlos Rodon spun a absolute gem Tuesday night, and Devin Williams so close to puking it all away. And why Logan O'Hoppe was swinging 3-0, I'll never know, but thank God that he did because he was a little too aggressive, and they won the game. But Devin Williams did everything in his power to try to make sure that that didn't happen, that the Yankees were going to lose on Tuesday night. So we're done with Devin Williams ever closing another baseball game for the Yankees. What we're not going to do here is rip Aaron Boone because, yes, I am not an Aaron Boone supporter. You guys know I don't want Aaron Boone to be the manager of this ball club. You guys know that I am the coiner of the 2 extensions, 0 rings. Okay, that's me. But he did nothing. Like I said, we're not going to be disingenuous on this show. We're going to be fair. He did nothing wrong on Tuesday night. You don't have Luke Weaver. Somebody's got to close the game. Why not Devin Williams? That's the time to show to test Devin Williams and let him show you whether or not he's past his struggles because he had been excellent in the setup role. You can't say that he hasn't been. You feel confident with Devin Williams setting up for Luke Weaver. So now this is the opportunity. Let him show you what he's got and can he do it. And if he gets through it clean, then maybe the Yankees go, But now what they're saying is, no. Or they better be saying, no. We saw it. We don't need to see it again. Because now what you do is you rearrange the chairs here is what you do for days that you don't have Luke Weaver. Because why didn't Loizaga close? Well, I guess you can make that argument why not Williams in the 8th and then Loizaga in the 9th. I guess you could make that argument, but I'm not getting on Boone for that because I do think that was a good opportunity to test Devin Williams one more time, and he failed. So it's not always the manager's fault. Sometimes it's the player's fault, and the player didn't perform in this situation, so I'm not going to kill Boone for that. But also on Tuesday, that was only Loizaga's 5th appearance of this season. So I also got comments of, well, he looked so good in the 8th. Why not the 9th? Because it was only his 5th appearance of the season. This guy's arm is, hanging on by a thread. How many friggin' injuries has he had? Right? We don't need
his 5th appearance in 2 years.
We don't need to tax him in that situation. He gave you the 8th. There's no need to push this here. So, again, Boone did nothing wrong. And I was going to criticize him a little bit in saying you got to have a shorter leash on Devin Williams in the 9th inning. You can't be in a situation where he's ready to give the game up. He had De Los Santos up, but he was up way too late. He's already facing Logan O'Hoppe, a guy that's got 14 home runs and can end the game. So what happens if O'Hoppe gets a hit there? The game's already at least tied, if not over. So that's the one thing you want to criticize Boone for, is that he sat on his hands a little bit too long for my liking there. You can't leave Williams in to blow the game. You have to, you knew right away. He gives up the leadoff home run to Soler, and then he gets the first out to Rocket. You knew right there he didn't have it. Somebody's got to be up and ready to go. So De Los Santos was just throwing for theater. He was not coming into that game because the game would have been over had you gotten to that point. So that's the only where you really want to question Boone anything. That's where you question him. So now the other layer to that, as we got to talk about this is what happens when you waste Luke Weaver in a 4-run game. Okay, fair point. Why is the closer in a 4-run game? Because he's probably coming into the game on Monday anyway. Boone said this in the post game on Monday. If we get into trouble, I got to bring in Luke, and we're going to lose him on Tuesday anyway. So I just wanted to avoid that and let him pitch. I don't have a problem with that because I've said a couple of times already this season where there's been 4 or 5 run leads in the ninth inning, and things got dicey, and he brought Luke Weaver in. How do you think Luke Weaver has 2 pitch appearances? How do you think that occurs? So why have him come in, clean up a mess? Just let him pitch the fourth, or let him pitch the inning up 4. I don't have a problem with that. He threw a ton of pitches. He's unavailable. He threw 46 pitches in 2 games. And you can tell that they really wanted to give him a break because with the day off today, they didn't pitch him yesterday in a 1-run game. So that's why Luke Weaver was unavailable, and that's why I don't have a problem with Luke Weaver being unavailable because of Boone's explanation and that I agree with it. I can't believe that I'm saying I agree with something that Aaron Boone said, but I do. Because what are you going to do? Bring in Ian Hamilton? He gives up, a run, a couple guys on. You got to bring Luke Weaver anyway. So why get to the point where you got to sweat things out and then Luke Weaver makes a bad pitch and he's a loser because of it? Just let him come in here, pitch a 4-run game. I didn't have an issue with that. But that is the concurrence of events there on Tuesday night, which all comes back to the original point. We are done. One more time, done with Devin Williams closing for the New York Yankees.
You have to be done because not only has Devin Williams proven time and time again that he really can't handle it. Weaver earned it last year. It was taken away from him, and it's been given back to him again this year. And so far, he's earned it, and he hasn't done anything to lose it. It should be his position until he does something to lose it. How could you just take it away from him? The guy's become a fan favorite. He's got the craziest walkout when you're in the stadium and he comes out. It's like amazing. The whole place goes dark. I don't know if they show it on TV or
I haven't seen it.
oh, it's you I first time I was there for a night game, the whole stadium goes black like the power went out, and the only thing that's on are the banners that go around like they say Chick-fil-A. Those will be on, and then all of a sudden you just hear Darth Vader breathing in the background. And you're like, "What's this?" And then here he comes down. The place starts lighting up.
Stupid is what it is.
It is friggin' amazing. It is amazing. Whoever put that together.
Oh wow, what a rocket scientist there. The guy's name
It's
is
not
Luke.
that. These guys come in and you sit there and you watch it and they have their entrances and they'll play some music from whatever. It's like the beginning of a freaking concert when he walks in to the light show that they're doing all this shit. It's wild. It hasn't happened before. That's why when it happened, when I was like, "What is this?" So they're gonna do all this shit for that guy, and they're gonna pull him out of being the closer and give it to Devin Williams. Like, no, just leave it where it is. Setup guy, Weaver's our closer. It's been working. If it's broke, don't fix it. If it's not broke, don't fix
yeah,
it.
okay. If it's
There
not
you go.
broke, don't fix it. Okay, so there you go. Yeah, I mean the Yankees. What I'm worried about now is that this didn't cause a regression in Devin Williams. Where okay, we put him back in the 8th. Is his confidence now shot again? Where he's going to now start giving up runs in the 8th inning because the guy was great in the 8th inning. That's my only concern now. Which he didn't pitch yesterday, so we'll see. I'm sure we'll see him at some point against the Dodgers. But man, I gave Brian Cashman a lot of credit. I said he was aggressive. He wanted this guy. He stole him from the Dodgers. You should have let the Dodgers have him.
Probably would have been lights out if he went to the Dodgers, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you look at Devin Williams' history here since being, the Pete Alonso home run, thought he was going to the Dodgers, and oh my God, how terrible. You wound up a Yankee instead, and then he had to shave. What a tough life this guy has.
Yeah, I know.
And then they changed the beard policy for Carlos Rodon.
Rodon.
Not even you. They changed it for Carlos Rodon. Get over yourself, Devin Williams. So the Yankees are ready to hit the bright lights of Hollywood here. They take on the Dodgers over the weekend. 3 games. 10-10 tomorrow night. Max Fried against Tony Gonsolin. I mean, if you're looking at a game that the Yankees have to win, it's tomorrow night. Max Fried's on the mound. Tony Gonsolin is a 4.68 ERA. This is a game the Yankees should win. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn here. And, you look at even on Saturday, 7:15. Just beware, tomorrow night's game is on Apple TV. I'm just letting everybody know now. I know everybody's going to get triggered on social media tomorrow, but I'm warning everybody now. And then, 7:15 Saturday. It's a Fox national game. Will Warren, also known as Garrett Cole Jr., against, Landon Knack, who's made 7 starts this year for the Dodgers, 5.22 ERA. And then TBD for the Yankees against Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who's been outstanding this year, 1.97. So, I mean, if you're really, and that's an ESPN 710 game. I mean, you're really being fair about things. The pitching really lines up well for the Yankees the first 2 games of this series. It really does. I mean, again, you're going to have fans that say this means nothing. You're going to have fans that say this means everything. I'm saying that this is a litmus test for the Yankees to go out there and show you how good they really are. I know that they're not throwing 2 of their 3 top guys in the first 2 games. It doesn't matter. Don't go out there and get shut down by these guys. Play clean baseball. Max Fried shoves. Will Warren continues. We take 2 out of 3. And we're talking about the Yankees being 16 games over 500 on Monday morning, because now you're 15 over. Every time you clip another 5 off, you don't go backwards. This is the Yankees' new low water mark for the season is 15. We don't go past this. So let's continue. Let's go. Let's get this done here and show the Dodgers, show Major League Baseball that this is a different team than last year. Okay? Because right now, you got Paul Goldschmidt, you got Cody Bellinger, Max Fried. This is all working out exactly how Brian Cashman envisioned it in his brain. I got to think that he thought that this was going to happen, and that this is not an all sheer luck happening right now. But that's the look ahead here for the Yankees on this weekend. And excuse me, it's time to wrap up here because my voice is getting ready to go. I'm telling you guys this right now. If you're not subscribed to the show on Apple Podcast or your favorite podcast platform, now's the time to do it. We're audio only Tuesday morning. We're recording Monday night to talk about the Dodger series. Jason's going to be in Nashville attending the Darius Rucker concert. That means I need a co-host. Somebody's got to sit in with me. I wonder who that could be. Maybe longtime fans of the show will want to listen to it on Tuesday morning. Maybe there will be a little bit of nostalgia for old-time NYYST fans. Maybe somebody just wants to see the original crew back together. I don't know. But you'll never know if you don't subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast platform. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star rating review. Tell everybody NYYST is the official Yankee podcast of Odyssey. And if you've been in the chat tonight, thank you so much. And like this video and subscribe to NYY Underground. We want to thank everybody for their continued support. And we want to thank you for listening and watching episode 469. Sem, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Can't make a promise, but I do my best. 25 sitting on 25 racks. Just got started, no, we ain't done yet. Bought a new crib, that's a goddamn flex. Sign that check. Told them last year that I been up next. Can't take calls, but I send that text. From way down.